This is a demonstration of the Forrest Manufacturing Model 480i horizontal blade traveling table bandsaw. This is a pretty basic configuration, so it's a good tool to explain the features of this machine. Obviously from the name, we have a horizontal blade, cuts in a horizontal plane, workpiece mounts on a table, table travels to make the cut. Machine is built with two 20-inch diameter wheels, gives you a vertical throat of about 19 inches. This machine is set up as a nominal 48-inch wide machine. For a nominal 48, just like a lot of things, we size it to be a little bigger. So for a nominal 48-inch workpiece, the table width is 50 inches, and the working blade length, maximum width from between the guide and the dust nozzle, is 52 inches. All Model 480i's, as standard, now come with pneumatic blade tensioning. Includes an air cylinder that is controlled from the panel face. We do include dust collection. We'll be illustrating that when we make a little cut here. Obviously, I've got a big piece of foam to do a test cut on. Blade motor on this one is an upgrade. The standard blade motor is a 2 horsepower brake motor. This is a 5 horsepower brake motor. We also offer a variable speed blade drive motor. For what this customer is cutting, the fixed speed works just fine. The table drive element is a urethane timing belt. It takes abuse well. It gives good results. It doesn't care about dust. It's not terribly picky about alignment. It's just good and bulletproof for the environment. We've also in past tried gear racks, chain drives, other technologies. They're a little fussier. The timing belt just works well for the environment, which is in a bandsaw environment, you can assume there's lots of dust. This machine has the standard manual hand crank to raise and lower the machine. So here by the operator's panel, you can't see it, I've got a hand crank to raise and lower the head. It includes an electronic digital readout on the position to show you where you are as far as the height. It also has an increment function. So after you make a cut, you can re-zero the counter and move it 1 inch or whatever distance you need to make on an incremental instead of having to keep count. The machine includes roller blade guides. We have other styles available, but that works for this application. Close it up. This machine has a vertical lift of 30 inches, so that the blade can go from table surface to 30 inches above the table, pardon me, this one's 36 inches above table surface. You can also have 48 inches above table surface. Problem is, when we make these things to have a 48-inch vertical lift, the machine is so tall, it won't fit in a regular truck. You have to ship on a flatbed, a considerable price premium. If you need the 40 inches of vertical height, we're happy to sell it to you. But this customer only needed the 30 and didn't want to have to pay for a flatbed across country. Controls on this machine has what we call our basic AC controls. So we have a box here, fuse disconnect, saw start and stop. Tension and detention is controlled by a switch here. Machine will not run if the blade is not properly tensioned. This machine includes a switch for blade breakage. So if you break a blade, machine stops. Also includes a switch for low air pressure. So if you don't have the correct air pressure hooked up to the machine, it won't run, and you get a blade fault light for either of those conditions. Motor fault condition for either the blade drive or the table drive. The table drive is controlled with an AC inverter drive. I've got a AC motor down there. It can, per specification, up to 6,000 RPM. Right now we're just running it at 60 Hertz, 1,800 RPM. Gives us a table travel speed maximum of 2 inches per second with about a 45-50 to 1 speed ratio. You can run it down to like 1.2 Hertz. We can adjust that range by changing the gear ratio, or you can adjust that range by reprogramming the inverter to run at faster than 60 Hertz. The only downside of that is you compress your range of speeds. But you've got here a table forward button, table reverse button. These are momentary operation. It'll run until it hits the end of the travel stop, so that it automatically shuts off. Or you can hit table stop button. We have two separate potentiometers, one for the forward speed and one for the reverse speed. Most of my customers will find that for the table speed for cutting, something like 0.2 to 0.5 inches per second, something like 20% of full speed range is what will work for them. And they'll find that one magic speed that works for them as fast as they can go without screwing things up. And they'll want to set that dial and leave it there. When you're after making a cut, when you're returning the table to the home position, you generally want to run as fast as possible to reduce your cycle time. So we have a separate potentiometer for the return speed, and it pretty much lives at 100% just to get the workpiece back as fast as possible. But like I said, I have this set up for a 2 inch per second maximum speed right now, which is going to look pretty slow cutting this foam. For the customer's workpiece, it's very suitable. But you can change that by increasing the variable frequency drives and maximum output frequency. We'll do a little test cut for you here. We do have a dust nozzle hooked up to one of our Model 9A9 dust collection systems. Please, if you can turn that on, please. Thank you. So the way I usually operate these things is I will advance the workpiece up to the blade. I'm being extra cautious. In a production situation where you're much more familiar with the cutting characteristics of the material, you'll run a lot faster. But what I will do is I will start with the table's forward speed at 0, press the forward button, and then I'll move the workpiece up to the blade. Get it close, stop it, return it back to 0. Start the saw. Then I will start the table drive again at 0. And I'll creep up on the workpiece. And as I find a speed that works, I'll increase the table feed speed. And it's going to take that quite quickly. Oh yeah, it'll cut that all day long. Easy as that. So I can let the workpiece run. I'm going to stop the saw blade. Stop the... Return the table between cuts. Stop it. You can't see it, I'm sorry, but I can zero out the counter, then move it. In this case, I'm moving it 1 inch down. Restart the saw, restart the table, make another cut. Most of the customers for this application with the manual head raise lower are making one type of cut. For example, maybe they have a box or a workpiece, they need to make the same cut every time. They'll just leave the blade where it needs to be for that same cut and just change workpieces out. You can also make sheet cuts on these material. I take a large block and cut pieces one by one by one. But if you're going to be moving it between every cut, you might consider getting a powered head raise lower mechanism. We offer that as an option. But that is the Model 480i horizontal blade bandsaw. If you have any questions, please feel free to call us or email us at Forrest Manufacturing. Thank you. Stop. No, it didn't.